Um, this is just sort of a short file about something that I experienced the other day, because I don't want to be redundant of what we already calculate as radiation counters, as mathematical electrical codes, electrodes, the nodes in a network, restoring reclamation or electrical life force power to increase the immunity function of our firewall. So I try and keep it simple. Now we're breathing better codes, which are healing tones, as in crystal core, the crystal aquifers, liquid light consciousness, crystal. And so there's a channel called California Insider, and they do a pretty decent job of going around to interview different people that are very much involved in the changes of the echo maps, the sound and light burn patterns of consciousness directed holographic mathematical programs, the codes, the mathematical codes, as it relates to machinery code, cyberspace, space command, super soldier, space command, right? And how that relates to sensing capacity and mortal bodies and the mental health field. The first eternal morphogenetic field structure of breathing, oneness with God Source Eternal. As an eternal calculator, as an eternal capacitor of the permanent records, the recording speeds, running a mathematical calculator to restore balance, the speed at which we restore perfect balance, 90 on the vertical, 90 on the horizontal, the deity planes, right? And so California Insider was interviewing a guy who was an auctioneer in California. So having done work in California from 1955 throughout a number of years as it relates to no time, there is no past, there is no present, there is no future, there's no sound, there's no pressure, no existence, right? And Michael Dean covered a figment of your imagination as lymphatic breathing, neurological communication, neurons, generating a gazillion neurons, the speed at which neurons communicate with other neurons, star communication, mathematical communication, what we feel, just like this morning. I was woken up in the morning and I was experiencing the vibration of frequency modulation. So when I turned on my phone, hey, Kilauea has erupted. I know, I felt it. It's what we feel. Yeah, our gold sensing capacity. The silver and gold mated Rouchet. 2 4 square quadrants. The crystal core. And so the guy on California Insider was talking about cows and how this relates to energy harvesting. And I think I shared the small file that I had when I went to live in a place that was a recovery program in Chino, California. And there used to be dairies out in that area many years ago. And I became pals, friends, communicating directly with the cow. Right? And so the cow and I became close friends. I used to go out and we used to spend time together every day. So I'm experiencing what love is. So now the cow is experiencing what it is, right? Because it's experiencing life force electrical energy, the mathematical codes of the program. What a cow experiences. Now the cow is experiencing what I am, which is I'm on Oaya. And so you can imagine what that was like when it's traditional to sit down at the dinner table with them and I'm not about to eat my friend because I'm experiencing pure, eternal, absolute love as life force, eternal energy that I'm sharing equally with that cow. The same as we do with all life. That's why the prayer to heaven, I love the prayer to heaven. The safe passageway to heaven, the higher heavenly realms, the higher codes, the higher tones, the echabeka tones, the plasma field generators. And so here's where children can do a mathematical calculation as it relates to ass backwards and upside down, between a 9 and a 6. Okay? of this guy mentioning that they were concerned because they're in quarantine. So you know what a quarantine is. Boris Major's quarantine. Ring a bell. Sound a bell. Sound the bell. Sound the alarm. The fire alarm. The first engine out. I'm Manu Waya. We got the call. The one that let us know. We're always on the job. Restoring atmospheric balance. So he was mentioning, for example, how it relates to loss and gain of electrical transactions between one node and another node. One unit of self-aware energy and another unit of self-aware energy is a formation, as formatting a drive. Like the 13th mother arc star firelight cycle, the aurora, safe Bartle, sliders, glide programs, a transit, like a bridge, meiotic bridgestones. Aya, Gaia, Gaia. Aya, Gaia, Gaia. Aya, Gaia, Gaia. Aya, Aya, Aya. So he mentioned 80 pounds, producing 80 pounds. PSI, like per square inch, 4 squares. That a cow in that business it normally produces, as he said, 80 pounds of milk. Now they sell that milk. Right? So now we're back into a word I once heard called destroyers. Like Oppenheimer, we have become destroyers, splitting the atom, and we have become destroyers of worlds. What love creates, what love manifests into the field. We have become destroyer of God worlds. The eternal source of all life force electrical power. The first sound of light, crystal sound, crystal clear, shattered crystal soul fragments, sphere of light fragments. And so he mentioned how those areas were put into quarantine because the cows are sick. They're experiencing being in a disordered state of mind, a mathematical calculator disordered state of mind. The sequences do not fire. The neurons are not firing right on time. Mathematical timing, the mathematical timing factor is the breathing factor. Breathing as one with the first breath of Kemaloati. So you can see how all these falls are related as it relates to quarantine. Sickness. The mental health field is sick. Right? Psychotronic weapons. Electronic weapons. Yeah. Brainwave technologies. Right? Distort the mind's energy. Distort the waves. Distort the codes. Damage the codes. Codes of communication. Neurological breathing communication. So this morning, I guess Kilauea is waking up. The pressure relief valve. So if you measure this, because I was doing this when I was a child, when I was 6 years of age, because I'm 9. 9-ball double diamond, tetrahydrolase fused with helium, light as light can be. Breatharian form, crystal breatharian form. The form and flow. The form and flow. The return flow. The speed of the transaction between one and another. One electron and another electron. Electron donors. The neutral zone. 0. 0 degrees. Precise center point. The still point of a true vacuum. Our calculating capacity. Our sensing capacity. So you realize what happens when we use the word desensitized. They're less sensitive as it relates to gold sensing capacitor levels. So they wear the gold on the outside. We generate gold. The inside, the inflow, the inner flow, the inflow, the crystal flow of silver and gold. The purpose and function of gold. The sensing capacity of pure gold. The purest gold there is. Pure fire. Fire is golden. Golden fire. the silence of sensing. Boy, I feel that. That's better tones. Feeling the healing tones of the crystal aquifers, the crystal core. That's why we're here. Aurora, yeah. And so this is why when I experienced that in Chino, California, back in the mid 1970s, that's why I cried for 4 days. It took me 4 days to heal as it relates to what? Energy harvesting systems. That's why it doesn't have anything to do with what you look like. Battery drainers, siphons, right? And so I just wanted to share this because this morning it was really cool. Nobody called me on the phone, right, to let me know what's going on. I was feeling what was going on. I was getting the transmission fluid, the hydraulic lift capacity of experiencing the relief valve of Kilauea. Precisely, right on time, which is the voltage change, the mathematical factoring of pressure relief, just like when you go to the bathroom, right? A plasma relief valve, relieving the pressure. psi coated neutrinos, naturally gifting electrons, so we're always in service to all life. Wherever love is, I am. Wherever life is, I am. The I am Manu. And that is absolute service, which is absolute love, which is on fire. The first flame operator. So yeah, I do not dwell on that because you realize what it does. I have to correct that. Because when I become aware of that system, then I'm not aware of what I am. I'm aware of what it is, which isn't what I am. Because of what it does. The machinery codes need life force, electrical power to power machines. Otherwise, they don't exist. Knowing one from the other, which is mapping codes, mapping software codes, the speed, the timing factor to experience perfect balance. 90 on the vertical, 90 on the horizontal. A cell, a circle, an integrated rainbow, an aurora platform. That's why we're here. 13th Starfire Light cycle. It's called a release date from quarantine. That's an update, huh? That's called an upgrade. Mathematical encryption upgrades, like the metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a sacred butterfly, the pollinators. Life is being restored. Yes. That's why we're here. Restoring the law. That is cosmic level monadic alignment with the core, the crystal core, the first clock, the eternal calculator, the eternal capacity to love us all, which is equally sharing to experience being one with all creation, the grand creator spirit. Yeah.